Alright, I think I got everything pulled up now. Closing everything out, and then we'll get started. And y'all's question is right there. There we go. Alright, there it is. Now, this is the handy dandy what do you call it? Difference quotient. So that means you're going to have to plug and chug. So anywhere there's an x, you're going to have to put a big set of parentheses. You put those in brackets and then subtract the trinomial and then start combining like terms. Okay. Alrighty. So, see if these things are right. Negative. Let's do that again. Somebody keeps turning it on, I don't know why. So negative 10 negative 10 parentheses squared plus 4 times parentheses plus 5 minus f of x, which is negative 10x squared plus 4x plus 5 all over h. And what do we plug in here? X plus h. And that's going to give you negative 10 and then x squared plus 2xh plus h squared, which is shortcut number 1, plus 4x plus 4h plus 5. And then minus, that'd be a plus 10x minus 4x minus 5 all over h. I have to do it with the mouse because every time I do it, try to do it on the board, it won't pick it up. So, Bush's fault. Everything's Bush's fault. Y'all know that, don't you? Now, distribute the negative 10. And that's going to give you negative 10x squared minus 20xh minus 10h squared plus 4x plus 4h plus 5 minus 10x minus 4x squared. Minus 4x minus 5 all over h. Now the answer to this problem is going to be negative 20x plus 4 with the h's in there, but that's basically going to be somewhat, I don't know what's wrong with this thing, it's just writing all over the place. But anyway, what happens to the negative 10x squared? Cancels with 10x squared there. Negative 4x cancels with the 4x, and the negative 5 cancels with the negative 5. So negative 20xh divided by h is negative 20x. Minus 10h plus 4. And in calculus, the 10h goes out and we're left with that. So I do that to check to make sure that I'm right. That's your answer. That's your answer. And that's how you do that one. So if you can't do that one, then you can pretty much consider yourself failure. So I'm going to put a 3 there. And check answer and final check. That should be your answer. Negative 20h plus 10h plus 4. And you feel good about yourself. Correct?
What kind of profession would use this type of equation?
You're not using none. But you got to realize what mathematics is. Mathematics is to your brain what the gym is to your muscles. If you want to be a vegetable, then don't do any mathematics. You won't be able to turn a doorknob, honestly. You wouldn't. And I tell my students that, and they think, you're crazy. If you had never had a math or science class in your life, would you be able to critically think? No, you wouldn't. So the more mathematics you have and the more science you have, the more you can manipulate a problem. And that's what you're doing. You're manipulating problems. Now, what are you doing when you find it? What did I tell you you're finding when you find this right here? You're finding the equation for the slope. Now, in physics and in calculus, you have to be able to find the tangent. So you got a particle in space, just going around. At one point in space, you have to find the tangent line so you can find the normal vector. And the normal vector represents the acceleration and the velocity of that particle in space. So with a lot of your physicists and a lot of your calculus applications in physics, you do need to find this, which in calculus you don't go through all of that algebra. You just say the derivative of negative 10x squared plus 4x plus 5 is negative 20x plus 4. And I've just found, and what you're doing, and I'm going to show you this right quick so you'll know. And this is just for your information. You don't have to write this down. Let's say that I draw a, actually I'm going to try to impress you, is what I'm trying to do. No. You draw a graph, and in a minute I'm going to show you how to figure out where this graph is, but it's got a horizontal, vertical shift, a y-intercept of 5. So it's going right in there somewhere. And it's opening which way? Down. Down, good. It's opening downward. Let me go ahead and, I don't know if I'm drawing a line or, no. I'm gonna go here. So it's open and downward. Let's just say it's very skinny because of the what? The 10. So it looks something like, let's just say it looks something like this. It may have a vertical, I don't know. Does everybody agree that that looks like a parabola open and downward? Okay? No comments, please. Now, let's say that I want to know, because the difference between calculus and algebra is calculus, you can pick any point in space and it's instantaneous. So I want to pick this point right here. That's one point in time, right? Now, first thing I want to do when I find that, now in calculus you're going to be talking in 3 dimensions. So there's an x, y, and z coordinate to that. Now, at this point in time, I want to take a line, and I'll make this a red line, and I draw a line that is what to that curve? What's it called when you got a line that butts up against the curve? What is that called? Tangent line. Now, if I can find the tangent line, then I can take my handy-dandy blue marker with my line maker. And if I can find the tangent line, then I can find the what? The normal vector, which is perpendicular to the tangent. And at that point, that blue line represents the acceleration and the velocity of that particle in space. But you can't find it unless you find the tangent line. Because the tangent line depends on the normal vector depends on the tangent vector. If you can't find the tangent vector, you can't find the normal vector, which is normal vector is the blue line. So that's where it comes into play. Now, are you going to need this to get a degree in English? No. If you're getting a degree in English, then you're in the wrong class anyway, pretty much. But anyway, if you're going on to more calculus and more physics, then you're going to see, especially in physics 3, light and sound. I think it's light and sound. I can't remember. You're going to see this a lot. Okay? So that hopefully answers your question.
Yes.
But when you get to calculus 1, 2, and 3 and DiffEq, all 4 of those classes is nothing but manipulation of a problem and solving the problem by manipulating it. Okay? If you want to go into a gym and bench press 215 pounds, you don't start with 215 pounds. You start with 135 pounds and you work your way up, right? Okay? With these problems, you work on a 2-dimensional scale, and then you move to a 3-dimensional scale. By the time you get into Calc 3, you're in 3 dimensions. And then you're manipulating 3-dimensional problems. You're manipulating them and solving them. So that way, when you go out and you want to find the tensile strength of a piece of steel, it's a piece of cake because you've done these type problems. Oh yeah, that's width times width and vector, normal vector, which a tensile strength, you got a beam, how much weight can be put on that beam before it breaks. What kind of vector is that? It's a normal vector. Normal to the beam. So it has all kind of applications. All right? You didn't think I was going to answer it, did you?
Probably not.
Yep. If you're in my calculus class, I show you the different applications to a civil engineering, because I went all the way through thermodynamics with civil engineering. And then I decided I wanted to be a math teacher. A lot of people thought I was crazy, but I think I'm a whole lot better teacher than I would have been an engineer. I would have been bored with engineering. Okay, I'll shut up. Next one is 2.691/8. 91/8. This one says, find f of x and g of x such that h of x is f composed of g of x. All right, this one you have to think in terms of going backwards. All right. Write it down first. Write down the directions too. You're going to have to write it word for word for you to understand how to do this problem. I just bought I might have told y'all this. I bought a coffee table and entertainment center that you got to put together. And it's very complicated, all right, to put these two together because the coffee table has a top that opens up and you can store stuff in the coffee table. And then it closes up, all right? And the entertainment center, all it is a big coffee table with drawers and stuff that holds up a flat screen TV. But the whole point is, all that stuff, you do not just slap it together, all right? You go through and you follow the what? Women, you follow the directions because y'all are very good at following directions. Men, what do y'all do? Just give me the picture. I know how to put it together. And then the drawer don't pull out and the doors don't open, and meanwhile the woman's put it together and it works perfectly. You have to follow the directions with those things. And with this is a prime example. You have to think through what's being done and undo it to get the answer. What does that mean? Well, what does F composed of G mean? F composed of G means that you're going to expand F and plug in what? G. When I blow it up, I have to move everything. I'm sorry. So I'm going to rewrite F composed of G means that I'm going to rewrite F of X is equal to something. But I'm going to rewrite F of X with a big set of parentheses, like that. And I'm going to plug in what? G of X is going to plug into that. So I guess we're looking for parentheses. Well, look at this guy. You got parentheses and you got something squared. So 8 minus 8x is what? G of x. And it says it right there. So G of x is equal to 8 minus 8x. Therefore, F of x Therefore, F of x is equal to what? Something squared. Well, what is something squared? How's another way to write something squared? F of x is equal to what? X squared. So if you don't understand, rewrite F of x, rewrite x squared with a big set of parentheses. And then plug in 8 minus 8x. And what is that? What you started with. So F of x is equal to x squared. Some people think that that's so easy, it's complicated. And then other people think, golly, you got to go around the world to get the answer. Well, not really, because they give you the answer right here when they say G of x is equal to 8 minus 8x. Well, if G of x is equal to that, then F of x has to equal what? Something what? Squared. And that's what that is right there. X shift squared. Ooh, nice work. I feel special. Next question. Same question. Let's see if it's different numbers. 2.691/8. All right. Well, it's the same type. What's the answer? F of x is equal to what? X squared. What if this was 9 minus 4x to the third power? The x to the third. What if it was the square root of 9 minus 4x? Square root of x. So I just gave y'all 3 test questions there. So hopefully you get them right. All right, that's all the questions for today. So I'll let y'all go now, right? I don't think so. One thing that I teach my calculus students is when you're in calculus and something seems so easy, chances are, what? It's not. And it's usually not that easy. So y'all think y'all going to leave class today? Nah. I'm trying to keep y'all here as much as I can because I like y'all. No, I don't really like y'all. I don't know why y'all keep coming back, but y'all do. Now, the next thing I'm going to go into is pretty much covering all of Chapter 3. All of it. And some of y'all are going, oh my God, I haven't had a test on the review. I haven't had a test on Unit 1. You need a life, okay? I'm going to give all y'all tests at one time so y'all can what? Fail. Good. Good. Y'all are catching on. Good. That way y'all all can what? Quit. Good. Y'all are really good students. Y'all are. All right, here we go. Something that some of y'all have never heard of before. Completing the square. Why have some of y'all never heard of it? Because high school teachers don't like to teach it unless they're forced to in pre-calculus. Okay? And I know that because I have several friends that are high school teachers, and they think it's like pulling hen's teeth, but it's not that difficult. All right? What does completing the square do? What does it do? It takes a quadratic, f of x is equal to x squared plus 4x plus 4, and it turns it into f of x is equal to a times x plus h quantity squared plus k. And what does a tell us? It tells us orientation. What does h tell us? The horizontal what? And the k tells us vertical what? Shift. And these two, negative h and k, is basically the vertex. Vertex is your highest or lowest point of your parabola. It's where Michael Jordan is actually flying because it's neither going up or what? Down. So it's actually where you're flying. But the whole point is, the other day, one day last week, one of y'all came up to my desk and asked me, said, how do I know where x squared plus 4x minus 2 is going? And I said, hold up, we're going to go over that in chapter 3. So by the time we get to the end of chapter 3, you'll be doing all the stuff that you learned in chapter what? 2. So by the time you get to chapter 3, you're doing more material in chapter what? 2. So by the time you take chapter 3 test, the chapter 2 test will be what? Thank you, whoever said that. Okay? Be easy. Be very easy. And you won't even have to study for it. That's why I give them both at the same time. Okay? That, I don't do it to make you fail. That's just a joke. Okay? Now, what do you do first? Well, we'll go to another page. The first thing you do with completing the square, move to C. I wish this thing was right correctly. Of course, it's not. It's operated error. Move C. Of course, students go, which way do we move it? Well, wait. Add blanks on both sides. Three. Most important part. Put a little star beside this. Take B, divide it by 2, square it. And put in blanks. Or, after you do that, after you do number 3, on the left-hand side, you will have shortcuts number 1 or number 2. And you'll figure out which one that is. And then 5, you'll get your vertex. And 6, you'll solve for x. Basically, you're going to get your vertex and your x-intercepts. So, let's do one. Now, what you might want to do is, I don't know how long that took you to draw this on your notebook. Hold on a second. Left-hand side. Okay, so I'm going to put those right here on the left-hand side of the page. And I'm going to take my handy-dandy straight edge. And I'm going to draw a line right down through here. And we're going to start with a problem that's pretty simple. On a scale from 1 to 10, it's about a 1. F of x is equal to x squared plus 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. Well, you set 0, you set f of x equal to 0, or you ever heard set y is equal to 0? Find your x-intercept? Well, that's what you do. You set y equal to 0, so x squared, hold on a minute, x squared plus 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. Got to have that 0 there for you to start the problem. Because what you're doing is you're setting y equal to 0, which gives you your x-intercept. Now, somebody tell me what C is. Okay, C is your your y-intercept. Write that down. And it's also the first thing that you move. I always love it when students go, where do you move it? Well, where is it right now? So, where do you think you're going to move it? To the right-hand side. Real high intellectual rocket science there. All right? Don't make it complicated. If it's on the left-hand side and I tell you to move C, you're going to move it to the right-hand side. When you move it to the right-hand side, it crosses the River of Jordan and it becomes what? Positive. All right? So, you get x squared plus 2x plus blank equals 3 plus blank. And I just did 1 and 2 together. Alright, and y'all shouldn't have a problem with that. I mean, not a lot of work. Now, where is B? B is 2. Remember? Ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay? Ax squared plus bx plus c. So B is what? 2. So 2 divided by 2. And what I do with 2 divided by 2, I square it, right? Which will give you 4 divided by 4, which is what? 1. And I take that 1 and I put it right here. And I put it right here. Now, once I do number 3, which is the most important part, that gives me what? Shortcut number 1 or 2 on the left-hand side. Now, if you're one of those people that have consistently said that you're not going to learn the shortcuts, then you're going to suck at this. Okay? And you'll probably fail the test. So, shortcut number 1. So that gives me x plus 1 quantity squared is equal to what? Oh my gosh. A times x plus h quantity squared plus k. Bring that over, it'd be minus 4. But at this point, I want to show you an easier way to find the vertex. I'm going to take my green highlighter and I'm going to highlight this guy, so there's your H. And I'm going to take my handy dandy aquamarine and there is my K. Now at this point I can find my vertex by taking the opposite of both of those. So what is opposite of negative 1, or positive 1? And what's the opposite of net positive 4? There is your vertex. Now, you need to write however you need to write to get that. Alright? Right down to the side. Take the opposite of both numbers or something. You got to remember that, because in a minute I got to show you another way of writing it and you're going to get confused. So you need to write in your own language, your own handwriting, how to get that vertex. Take the opposite of both numbers. That would probably be the easiest thing to put out there to get vertex. Now, the other thing you could do to this is you could put it in intercept form. Write that down. I'm just going to put I form. That's intercept form. Now, this is important because some of the homework and some of the test questions are not going to ask for the vertex. They're going to ask for intercept form, which means f of x is equal to x plus 1 quantity squared, and then I bring that 4 what? Over. That is called intercept form, because it's in the f of x is equal to a times x plus h quantity squared plus k. It's in that form. Now, after they tell you to put it in intercept form, they're going to ask you for the vertex. Now, when it's in this form, you take the opposite of the 1, and you just bring the what? The negative 4 down. Do you get the same answer? Yes. But you've got to be able to distinguish what form it's in. This form, you're solving. You take the opposite of both. Boom. If it tells you to put it in intercept form, you have to put a f of x out in front of it, bring over the 4, and then you take the opposite of the 1 and the negative 4 you bring down. I just tell students to do it this way. And that way you don't, but you have to know this in order for some of the homework and test questions. Okay? Now, what else? What is it? We just did the vertex. What does it say now? Solve for x. So solve this for x. If you can't do it, then there's a ditch for you. You know, if you try to add somebody on Facebook, and you've tried to add them like 3 or 4 times, and they don't add you, what does that tell you? Exactly. Or they don't know you. Dang, oh, somebody trying to add me like for the 4th time, and I don't know that person. I'm not going to add somebody I don't know. Dang old crazy people. Oh well.
Don't you want more time?
Huh?
Don't you want more time?
No, I don't have any friends. When you go through a divorce, you find out how many friends you have. No, you find out. Go through a divorce, you'll find out. Good. Don't get married till you're 28. Okay? I think I can I get an amen from somebody in here that's been through a divorce?
Amen.
Oh, whatever. You right out of high school. Okay, I got an amen over here. She knows. You go through a divorce, you find out your friends, your real friends, real quick. I still have 2. Huh? You learn a lot, but you also learn about your family, you learn about your friends, and you learn about the people you thought were your friends that wasn't your friends. All right. So, what do we do first? How do you undo a square? Take the square root of both. So I'm going to take my handy dandy page and I'm going to start over up here. And I'm going to say x plus, what was it, x plus what? 1. Quantity squared is equal to 4. And I'm going to take the square root of both sides. And that's going to give me x plus 1 is equal to positive or negative 2. And then x is equal to positive or negative 2 minus 1. And what's 2 minus 1? And what's negative 2 minus 1? And there's your 2 x-intercepts. And now I've got everything I need to sketch my graph. So I take my handy dandy straight edge and take it again. Now draw me a graph right here. No stretching in class. That's not allowed. All right. You're talking even. I saw you talking. All right. So the -1. I'm going to take my big black marker here, and I'm going to put a x-intercept at 1, and I'm going to put 1 at -3. 1, 2, 3. Now, a lot of you are saying, well, there's no numbers there. What did I tell you I was doing? Was I drawing a graph or was I sketching a graph? What am I doing? I'm sketching a graph. What's my y-intercept? I told you at the beginning that the y-intercept was what? Positive 3 or negative 3? Is it negative? Okay, negative 3. 1, 2, 3. My vertex, what was my vertex? Negative what? -1 and what? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Look at there. We have a parabola. Now, calculator drill team, get out your calculators. And graph what we just graphed, and you'll see that it looks better than this, but it looks something like that. Now, what's the domain? All real numbers. What's the range? Range is from -4 to infinity. Decreasing. Decreasing from -infinity to -1. And increasing from -1 to positive infinity. And that's what all of you should be able to tell me by the time we get through doing 5,000 of these problems. And we're going to do, okay, right now, we're on a difficulty level of 1. By the time we get through, you're going to be at a difficulty level of 11 out of 10. Okay, so that's 10 problems right there. 11 problems right there. Okay? So we're going to do in class at least 11 problems. And each time it's going to get more and more what? Difficult. So if you know how to do these, we're going to progress along. And hopefully half the class will drop out by then. All right. So here we go. Let's do another one. I'm going to let you try to work on this one. And if you can't do it, just like I said, wrap it up as failure. Meditate on x squared plus 4x minus 2. Alright, I want you to try to give me everything, and then at the end I want you to sketch it, and I want you to tell me the domain, the range, increasing, decreasing, and I left out something. No, I didn't. That's it. Right now there's 3 people in the classroom. One is going, I had this in pre-calculus, I think I can get at least to the vertex. And then there's the other person that's going, I remember this from pre-calculus, but I don't know, I can't remember how to do it. And then the one person says, I have no clue. So those are the 3 people in here right now. Just got somebody sent me a post that said, hey, NFL, we want George Strait for the next Super Bowl halftime show. That'll never happen. Should, but won't. I turned it. Turned it to Mega Shark versus Mecha Shark.
I love this stuff, dude.
I do too, and people think I'm crazy. They're so cheesy.
Yeah, but like the shark gets in a fight with a giant stingray, all kinds of crazy stuff.
And they go up over the aircraft carrier, and their tail hits the aircraft carrier and sinks the whole aircraft carrier. Very real stuff.
Oh, like in Sharknado.
Sharknado, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very real movies.
Yeah. This is better than 6th grade.
Oh man, they're funny though. They're fun to watch when you're annihilated. I'm sorry, when you're having refreshments, kind of like the Matrix. All right, you should be done. I'm just kidding. What's half of 4? What's 2 squared? Y'all are so smart. Wait till I throw a 3 in there. 3 divided by 2 is, crickets chirping. No, it's not 1.5. It's 3 halves. Well, why don't you use 1.5? Then you have to rely on what? Your calculator. If you'll notice, you haven't had to use a calculator. Wait a minute. Are you saying that completing the square, you don't have to use a calculator? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, that makes sense why they didn't teach it in high school. They make us use the calculator in high school. X plus 2 quantity squared is equal to 6. What'd y'all get? All right, so the y-intercept is -2. There's your y-intercept. Your vertex is -2, comma what? -6. Now I want everybody right now to write that right here. I want you to write it in intercept form. Put it over here on the side. That'd be f of x is equal to x plus 2 quantity squared minus what? 6. And I want everybody to highlight that, however you want to highlight it, please. And make a note that that's intercept form, and that is an option. Because you may see, it may just ask for the vertex. If it just asks for the vertex, then you just get it right here. If it asks for it in intercept form or in general form, you have to put it in there. All right, now we're going to solve it. This is when y'all start reaching for the calculator. No, I have not told y'all to get a calculator out. So if you have your calculator out and you're using it right now, you're on the calculator drill team and you don't know how to take square roots 2, which is really pathetic. Okay, x plus 2, what's this 6 cent for? Quantity squared is equal to 6. Y'all ever shut down a McDonald's before? By giving them 6 cents or 56 cents? Oh yeah, or give them $100 and give them 6 cents if your bill is $20.56. Watch your head explode. I actually shut down the McDonald's on Highway 81 up there at Interstate 85. I was going to Greenville and I stopped by there and I was getting, and it was like, I don't know, it was a combo. It was like $7.67 came up to be like that, and I gave him a 20. And while he was ringing it up, I gave him 7 cents. And he sat there and he went, "What's this for?" I said, "I don't know." And he sat there like this for about 15 seconds, looking like Patrick Starfish. I said, "You gonna give me my change?" "I don't know what to give you." I said, "Okay, I'll stand here until you figure it out." Yeah, he had no idea. Wait a minute, he called the manager. Guess what the manager had to do? He had to go to the calculator. And y'all laugh at me when I make fun of people. These people are in charge of money. These people are in charge of the cash register.
This is the style.
Well, come on. It's not that bad. Whoever said that, I don't know. I mean, come on. It's 50 cents, okay? 57 cents, you give back 50 cents. Anyway, to make a long story short, I finally got my change like 10 minutes later. The people behind me were just shaking their heads because they couldn't believe these two gentlemen could not subtract $7.57. They could not subtract from $20.07 and come out with an even amount of change. They could not contemplate that. And when they got through giving me their change, guess what they said? "Oh, you did that so you didn't have to give any pennies back." I turned around and walked off and said a word. These people are in charge of money. If you were an owner of McDonald's or a retail business, would you put some idiot like that in charge of a cash register? I wouldn't. And they should have gave you $3.50 or something like that.
It was $4 extra, so I don't remember what the change was or what I gave. This is like a year ago, but I do remember it was $4 extra.
It's pitiful.
Yeah.
These are the people that can't tell you the Vice President of the United States and who won the Civil War, and they're running a cash register.
We were on that toll road, we gave him a 20, and we gave us back the change and the $20.
You are kidding me. They must not have change. I always was told when you were given anything bigger than a 20 to lay it on the cash register. That way you don't put it in the till until after you give the change back.
Yeah, that's about it.
Because if somebody could easily say, well, I gave you a 50 or I gave you got the 20 laying right there. Because some people actually make money doing that.
Yeah.
They'll try to con you out of change because you don't pay attention to what you're doing.
I'll count the drawer. I'll like stop right there and tell them like, if you say give me a 50, I'll count this whole drawer down and you can wait.
Yeah.
If there's that set on it, they gave me a 50.
Well, they want something for nothing. Kind of like the people that beg for money on the side of the road, but they got an iPhone.
Yeah.
You wait and watch them and they pull out their iPhone or pull out their Marlboro Reds, which cost $5. You know, that's a real. Okay, I'll shut up. All right, the square root of 6. How do you take the square root of 6? Well, I'll show you a trick I learned in the war. Square root on both sides. That gives you x plus 2 is equal to, well, go over here, square root of 4 is equal to what? 2. The square root of 9 is equal to what? Now, y'all think I'm just showing y'all this because it's something I came up with. This is called interpolation. Okay? Well, who said it wrong? It's supposed to be interpretation. No, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Interpolation is an engineering term. You usually use it with topography. When you have two elevations that are 6 feet apart, and you've got 10 feet between them, you can actually find the middle point by interpolation. You take half of the distance, which is 5 feet, which would be 5 feet this way, and you take half the elevation. What I say they were, 5 feet apart, 6 feet apart, or 6 feet elevation be 3 foot. So this point, 5 feet, is 3 foot higher than this point. See what I'm saying? All right, it's based on right triangles. The whole point is you can do that with this. Somebody tell me that runs a cash register and can make change, what's between $2 and $3? 2.5. If you find the middle of this side, you can find the middle of this side. What's the difference between 4 and 9? What's half of 5? So that'd be square root of 6.5. Oh my gosh. Look at there. There's 6. Well, what's between $2.50 and $2? $2.25. Well, what's between 4 and $6.50? Well, that's 2.5. Half of 2.5 is what? 1.25, right? I should say 2.5. So that'd be 5.25. I say 2.3. Now, some of you with your handy dandy calculators on the solid real team, take the square root of 6, take the square root of 6 and see what you get. I say it's 2.3. What do y'all get? That's all right. I'm very proud of that. I'm very glad that nobody has their calculators out. But go ahead and take the square root of 6 for me. What do you get? Okay. That's fine. 2.3, 2.4. Why am I not worried about it? Because what are you doing? Are you graphing or are you sketching? You're sketching. I'll change it to 2.4. It's not that big a deal. Minus 2. What's $2.40 minus $2.4? And what's, you owe $2.40, you owe $2. You owe $4.40. And there's your two what? X-intercept. So sketch your graph. Have y'all noticed we haven't used anything on here that we can't find, that we can't do with our, what's it called? Brain. Wow. Somebody in here's going, oh my gosh, that's not hard. Wow. But what have you been conditioned to use? The calculator. So this is just like unheard of, using your brain to find the square root. Actually, I could go further. 225 to 250, that'd be what? 2.37, right? So 2.37 would be in the middle there. And then 5.25 to 75, and then it's 1.25, something like that. Half of 1.25 is 0.6. 0.6, the 5.85. 5.85 is right at 6. That'd be 2.4. So all I'm doing is finding the middle of the middle of the middle of the middle. And you can do that on both sides. And when you do it on both sides, you find your square root. Now, do you think this happens on the side of the paper and you do this every single time? No, you do it in your head. You eventually start doing it in your head, where most of your mathematics is supposed to take place, like making change. It's supposed to take place up here. All right, so take all that information and put does not exist on the graph, right? Does not exist. Not enough information. Take your handy dandy straight edge, virtual straight edge maker. And take my handy dandy red marker. And my left is 0.4. And my right, wrong side, sorry,
Is it?
0.4.
It's not negative 0.4? It's plus 2.4?
You're right, you're positive, no, positive.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
positive
Yeah, you're right.
2.4, yeah, I just put it on the wrong side. And negative 4.4, uno, dos, tres, cuatro, 4.4, be right in there. Dang old y-intercept is negative 2. 1, 2. And our vertex is negative 2. 1, 2. Negative 6 is down here somewhere. And there is your parabola. Don't laugh at my mouse written parabola, unless you can do a mouse parabola better than this. Okay? Now, domain is all real numbers. Why is the domain all real numbers? Because it's not a radical or what? Or a rational, Hubert. That's right, class. And what is my range? Negative 6 to what? Infinity. Decreasing from negative infinity to negative 2. Increasing from negative 2 to what? Positive infinity, Hubert. Thank you, class. Alright, so let's throw a monkey wrench in it. Let's just really lock you down. Here we go. X squared plus 3x plus 1 or minus 1 is equal to 0. So go ahead and throw your pencils down. Well, you got to wait until you get the fractions. Then you throw your pencils down, because you can't do it. How are you supposed to take half of 3 halves? Or 3? How are you supposed to? Take 3 halves and square it. Oh. Y'all ain't SpongeBob fans? I am. Well, I got 2 kids that live off of SpongeBob, so I had to watch it like 5 times a day. When Squidward asks Patrick, what is, you take your order, Patrick? He goes, oh. He sits here and don't know what he wants. Patrick is not my favorite. Okay, y'all very conversive today. I'm going to Zaxby's after this class. I'm hungry.
I like to be there.
Huh?
I like to be there.
I don't go to Bojangles because their tea tastes funny and their fries got too much salt and stuff on them.
Every time I go, I don't know.
Their tea tastes like it's old. Got a whine to it. I have not been to McDonald's in 4 years. And there's a thing on Facebook that shows somebody kept a Happy Meal for 6 years.
I saw that.
And it looks no different from when you buy it.
No, it's still good.
There's a saying, you probably could eat it. I'm serious. I've often heard a saying, if it doesn't mold after 3 days, you don't need to eat it. Might want to think about that.
It's a pattern word.
I'm not talking about climate conditions, okay? I'm just saying.
People don't tell you that when they're doing pictures.
I think they mean the preservatives is what they're talking about. I think there's a lot of preservatives in the food, you know, because you can leave a McDonald's hamburger in your car, and 3 months later it looks like you could eat it.
We've had a hamburger and been beside each other for a while.
Yeah.
The one that looks nastiest, that's the one you should be eating.
Yeah, that's the one you should be eating. Oh well, I just thought it was interesting. All right, here we go. Since y'all have done quit, more than likely y'all quit because y'all don't know how to do it. X squared plus 3x plus, I'm trying to make y'all feel better. You know, discourage you. Huh? Oh, is it time to go? Whatever, okay? What time is it? I haven't even looked. Okay, what time's class over? All right, sit down because I got to take the attendance. All right, let me shut this